Oh, for crying out loud. Another one? See, coming over here as the WHUT news tower comes into view. Just in time for it to start raining, of course. I'm making some additions to it. This has been done in 2 stages. The first one was to come through, and was what I've been planning for a while now, actually. And that was to put this kind of upper deck on it. So this is kind of done in a way to, kind of mimic a, TV tower design type thing. I forget the name of it, but there's a couple landmarks for it, and it's got kind of a near and dear place in my heart from my grandparents and a lot of holidays ago. Not actually being there, but train sets and everything. And then I started working on. I went into creative, and I wanted to put a roof on this thing. But the problem is, I wanted the roof to be kind of unique and reflect more of. Kind of reflect that this is before I was even thinking about the Rainbow Road stuff, but I wanted it to have that rainbow element, and this is was a really interesting self-challenge that I could give myself, was trying to make all these colors intelligently swirled together into kind of it's not a, you'll see from when I go look at it from the side here, it's not really a dome. I guess it's a dome on top of a dome, really. But the intent is, all the colors kind of swirl up and then kind of pick up and go right up into the roof here. And what's not shown here, because I don't have the glass for it yet, is I'm going to kind of encase the top in white stained glass. So it'll be kind of like almost a little bit of a cloud up top, and it's going to have the glowstone within it. So I'm going to have glowstone kind of hanging from the ceiling, so when you're down here at this level, and you're looking up, it's almost like you've got stars in the sky, but yeah, and then this was, when I initially started building this, I wanted it to be like this so you can actually look out and you actually get a slightly better view across town. And I did very briefly consider turning this into a monorail station, but there's just too many builds that I'd be intercepting trying to work around Spawn, and not really much of a monorail point to this. I might dig it down and go underground, possibly, because there's a lot of underground is basically just all strip mined at this point and branch mined. But that was the first spot I wanted to start working there, especially. I'm still trying to figure out how I could potentially throw out some diagonal supports here, how I could build them, because all of these are just cobble fences or cobble walls and cobble forming the structural supports there. But overall, I think this is turning out very interesting, and especially the roof, because I wasn't working off of a template or anything for this. This is all hand done. Like I said, I did do it in creative first, and then I've got several screenshots that I can reference. Oh yeah, because that's just what we need more of. I've got several screenshots that I referenced while I was building this section. Now I'm up to the challenge of, I've only built this 1/4 view over on survival. Now I've got to try to build the rest of it here, and it gets a little wonky as you go up, because as you start, really it's concentric rings that I'm building around the edge here. So as you shrink, you have to actually start pulling blocks out of it. So it's very easy to do the base level, because it's 3 up 1. It's 3, and then on the very end you uplay your next layer of 3, and your next layer of 3, and then your next layer of 3, and then it gets a little more complicated because you have to start turning it to get up the top of to the cone, but you've also got to shorten it up anyways, because your transitions start getting a little difficult. So that's why this red one goes only 2 there and 2 there, and then goes back to 3 here, because now you're kind of turning a corner, and we're back to 3, and then by here it's turning all, it's turning into a straight run until you get over here, and then it kind of swirls up. And the other problem, of course, is trying to bring, this is, let's see if I can switch over to my main account here. And for some reason, the system is being very annoyingly OBS is being very annoying right now, because it should be switching me over to this. Alright, but anyways, if I could show you my main account here, my survival account, you would see that my entire inventory straight across the bar is actually filled with the glass that it takes to do this. So I've got one color for every slot in my inventory, aside from my alternate hand, and that's how I'm wheeling my Silk Touch pick for when I inevitably screw up. So it's very much a interesting build. It's been a little nerve-wracking in some ways, but it's also been a great learning experience. And like I said, I'm really glad with how all of this has turned out so far, and I'm kind of really looking forward to seeing the rest of this. Now, the problem is, what you're seeing right here so far is representing almost a full stack of glass. And I mean a full stack of glass per color. Now, the dice not the problem. I've actually got on my I've got in my player inventory right now all the dies I would need to make the rest of the dome here. The problem is going to be the glass. So probably what I'm going to do is, as soon as I finish up running out, I'm like down to 10, 15 glass per color right now that I'm using to lay down the first layer to go all the way around and just make sure everything lines up fine in that layer. Once I'm done with that, I'll probably go back and pop down to the shopping district and see if anyone's got a ton of glass I could buy. The other problem I've also got to figure out what to do is my circle, when I built the original platform here, is not exactly 100% precise. I really should have come out with another layer of extensions there, and whereas the bottom layer on this is based off of that's the only thing I did base off of a template, is the very bottom circle. It's based off of a the radius going out from the center is 19 blocks, so it is based off of a 39, a size 39 circle, basically. And as you can see, I've got a little bit out here that's just a little bit off, but that may just be the case of I'll come back and pop on the outside and just kind of knock down some, put down some half slabs, smooth stone half slabs, just kind of use that as a way to transition the circle up to that, because it is also a little bit of an abrupt transition. But the great thing is that the roof so far, even with only what little I've got done, looks absolutely amazing. I mean, you can still see it from the ground, and you're like, okay, what the heck is that? You can tell that is definitely a rainbow theme, and I'm at about head height down here, so this is still looking really awesome. Even from this level, I'm barely within render distances. If I go back a little further, I don't think I can see it from... It's starting to fade out of view right now, so if I set my render distance up a little more, it probably would work a little better. But actually, that looks like it's just about the limit there. But yeah, you can see the very top layer of it there, and you can tell that is a rainbow theme. And it's appropriate because Cleo likes rainbow, so I'm just going to put that on here. Well, also the other reason why it's appropriate is because the WHUT News logo, for lack of anything better, is basically a shot of what would normally be like a CD label art with rainbow theme on it, and Cleo up at the top. So now I don't think I'm going to be putting a giant Cleo at the top of this thing. That might be a little cliche, but the other thing, once I'm done with all of that and I've got the dome over here, is I've got to figure out what the heck I'm going to do up here. And not only that, but also potentially establish either stairwells so you can actually get up to this level, or maybe do some of the rainbow. I used blue up here originally because that's what I was planning to do, but maybe do more of a rainbow theme for this, or even down there, because I could very easily just drop the color that's in place here straight down onto the glass here. So then that way it turns into, when you look straight down on it, you're not going to get kind of this weird little funky color thing going on. It would actually look pretty consistent, especially on the minimap. It looks really good on the minimap, though. So, yeah, that's what I've been busy working on. I didn't want to record a time-lapse of this because, well, Problem number one is I'm up high enough that you can see I'm already in some areas that it's snowing over here because it's right on the border of taiga. And I'm not too far off from being, obviously tons of it rains frequently on the server. At least it seems like it's been raining frequently. Plus, there's a lot of me running around and taking stuff down and putting stuff back, and it didn't really seem like I was going to get as much of a decent video out of it, especially because it's very hard for me to build on one monitor and keep focus on the other, so that way I know, oh yeah, I'm within camera shot, or I've got a decent view of what I'm trying to do right now. It takes a little bit of skill, and I don't think I want to actually try that with this build, because it's a lot of concentration to make sure you get everything right. And of course, I'm working off of screenshots, so I've got a screenshot from this angle, I have a screenshot from this angle, and one from this angle, and then I've got one all the way up at the top. And the one at the top is kind of the best one I have so far, because it shows how the colors are swirling about. The ones from the sides are a little less useful because obviously I can't exactly very easily see what I'm working with, and unfortunately the reference photos I'm using were all taken on a survival server where I built this up in the air, and all I've really got in background of it is just some smooth half-slab floors at the very bottom of it. Whereas this, I've got a lot of, I've got the other glass that's in here, I've got the water, I've got a lot of clutter behind it, so it makes it a little harder to necessarily pick out the right thing here. And in fact, this spot here, I believe, might actually be wrong. I think that should be a magenta block and not a purple. So I'll have to go up there and potentially fix that. That's the other problem, is on the creative world, I was building it with the world set in constant daylight, whereas this I'm going between day-night cycles. And once it hits night, you really can't see half the glass up here. So I've actually started putting up some of the glowstone just to try to backlight it a little bit and give me some idea of what I'm building where. And yeah, I think this is going to work out really well when I finish it. I really can't wait to actually see the finished product. And I think this is going to line up right, because I've got the progression of colors lined up, so essentially you go through all 8 colors by the time you get through the rainbow there. Or actually not all 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because your inventory slots are based off of a 9 system in a game where most of your inventory is based off of the power of 2. Don't ask me why. But yeah, it goes through all the colors, and you can see I had to kind of skimp out on quite a few as I got up to the top and had to bring them closer together. But yeah, I think this is going to work out perfectly, because the bottom here starts on red and it ends on the light purple over here, or the dark purple over there. So the very next block after this would wind up being a red block, and as you can see over here, the math worked out for that perfectly, because that is indeed a start of a red block there. And I do have to come back and actually fix this, because this is not the right color progression. I should have dark purple and then the light purple. Well, I got good news, everyone. It's finished. Now, unfortunately, I was recording while it was night out, so I had a really good view of what this looks like lit up at night. And unfortunately, I was in preview in OBS and not actually in the full-on recording mode, so kind of lost a lot of commentary there. So it's going to be a little bit of a short update on this, but yep, as you can see, it's done. I've got glowstone scattered all throughout the interior now to fully light it, except for the very lower level. Between that and working out a better way of actually getting up into here, because currently you either come up the stairs up to this level, or you float up the water streams up to this level, and then you kind of have to go up through any one of the water streams here to get up to this level. And of course, now there's no way to get up into this level of it either. I've taken down the dirt bridge that was up here. As you can see, I've replaced I've redone the center platform a little bit, replaced the red glass that was in here. It's just a little too much. So it was set up to mimic basically it's the drop down of the color from the ceiling directly to where it is down here. So that's why this is not really a full rainbow out to there. And that was just more of a conscious choice to do that particular step, and it just looks a lot better when you're actually looking up through everything, because you're not necessarily contrasting so much with the blocks. The cardinal points here are open to the outside world, so if you want to do a little bit of an elytra jump off of here, you are certainly welcome to. It's a little slow to get up here is a problem. I don't know if I can squeeze a translocator setup into here or not. I'll have to kind of take a look at the ones that we have in the shopping district and the end and see if it's doable. Obviously, one of the big problems is I don't have any pistons on me, let alone the amount of pistons that I will need to actually get up there. Or maybe I'll even just make it like an Ender Pearl elevator or something that at least gets you up to this level. And I don't mind a short little float up here. I just have to... I can always put ladders along the various holes here on the inner column. Or I can just kind of sit there and leave a sign saying, hey, swim up, and you'll be able to see the rest of it. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. And it really does kind of... looks really nice from just about any angle that I've been able to look at. You don't always see the very top dome from down here, but I think that actually kind of lends itself to it pretty well, actually. I mean, you don't really see it until you're kind of coming up here, and even then, you it just kind of, it's blurry enough that it kind of fades into everything, and then as you get closer, you're still seeing enough of the colors. And I think because of the fact that I've got so many colors in that tiny spot, it actually looks really good from this angle. It's a vibrant color because you've got the vibrant color of the glass, but there's enough glass in here that it's rendering it a little more opaque. You can kind of see it from this angle. It's a little more opaque behind there. So when you kind of look at it from, let's see what the view's like over here. When you look at it from the various spots around Spawn, you kind of get a little bit of a different taste every time. That looks pretty darn good. Oh yeah, that is a beautiful view of it over in that direction. Just in time for a fart bubble to show up on the screen. So that's the, and the funny thing is, it really is kind of a, you can see up here the colors really do, you can see the difference between the domes because the colors go vertical. But because of the way it's spaced out on the mini-map, that's just absolutely perfect. It really just kind of sells the whole spiraling up into the top of the dome. So I'm ecstatic over that. I mean, that is just... I think there's some viewing platform up here. Let's see what it looks like from above. It just came out so awesome. I love it. I mean, it's perfect. Eee! This is right at the edge of render distance to get a good shot of it, but yep. I love that. That's perfect. I am not changing it at this point. That is going to be how that lives on in perpetuity. So, yeah, the question is there a quicker way? I might be able to make the water. I can certainly make the jump at least. I have taken a couple falls out of the tower up there. It's about a half health hit on that sucker with my armor and everything. But I'm still in pretty good shape. As you can see, I've got a good amount of supplies left over for colored glass. And I did a little more shopping while I was over in the shopping district, so you can see I picked up a couple extra supplies for working over at Zombieland Studios. So hopefully I will be able to show you guys another update from over there pretty soon. And anyways, thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys in the comments. Nailed it! How do I get out of here?